Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about deciding what to prepare for. No, I'm not going to give you a list because you're going to have to decide for yourself. I'm going to talk about my criteria. So I'm not a rich guy, I don't have infinite resources, and so I have to pick and choose what my battles are. I work in risk management in my real life, and in risk management we talk about probability versus severity. All right, what is the likelihood that something's going to happen, and how severe is it going to be if it does happen? Obviously, I live in Texas, and it's 110 degrees outside, so heat waves happen. What's the repercussions of a heat wave? Well, heat stroke, wildfires, and any day now the grid's going to collapse. Those are both severe and likely. If you look at something like zombie apocalypse might be severe, but pretty low on the likelihood. If you spend time on prepper forums, they like to talk about World War III and EMPs and coronal mass ejections and all these big scary things. And while it's true that the probability of those things is not zero, I don't rank them very high on the probability scale. They might be severe, but not very probable. I would like to add a third axis, which is cost to mitigate. So if we say World War III is very severe, which I would agree, and an increasing level of likelihood, which I would agree, that puts us pretty high on an axis of something we should be paying attention to. But do you have the financial resources to prepare for World War III? Do you have the money to build a bunker and hide underground for the next 10 years while the radiation dissipates? If you do, you're in much better shape than I am. So think about the things that are likely to happen in your area, how severe they are, and how much is it going to cost you to mitigate. You know, a boil water notice might not be that big of a deal, but it only costs a few dollars to have some water stored. Another one that comes up is gas masks. I always thought that gas masks were really silly, but the probability of a chemical spill in the area is not zero. Now, I didn't buy a gas mask, but I went and I spent $25 on a respirator from Home Depot, and I can use it for other things. Is a respirator the best solution for filtering out chemicals? No, but I can use it for other things, and it's certainly better than nothing. So I have mitigated that risk for a reasonable amount of money. So when I look at threats, I think about how severe are they, how probable are they, and are they within my financial means to mitigate that risk? The higher that those risks are on both probability and severity means the more money I'm willing to throw at them. I know that a power outage across the state is going to be bad because I lived through one. I also personally feel that they're very likely given the state of the temperature outside and what ERCOT has or hasn't done since the freeze. So I've spent multiple hundreds of dollars on batteries and solar power and other setups because I think it's both severe and likely, and I'll throw money at it. EMPs crack me up because guys will post on Reddit about buying a vehicle specifically because they believe it's EMP proof. Do you really have a spare $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 just laying around to spend on just one thing, to spend on just a car, on the likelihood that an EMP happens? They've got a lot more disposable income than I do. Let's look at something a little smaller scale. Gunshots. If you go out in public at all, you have a probability of getting shot. That's just how it is, all right? And the likelihood of getting shot seems to be increasing daily. Now, depending upon where you get shot, it might be severe, it might not, but no one's going to be particularly happy. So, how do you mitigate that? Training, like Stop the Bleed, is typically free. That's a pretty good way to mitigate the damage of that particular incident. Or the tools are not really expensive. This is a tourniquet and some shears to expose the wound. Is your life or the life of one of your family members worth 50 bucks? So if you want to get started in prepping, don't worry about the big things. Yes, they might be world-ending, but the probability of them happening is small, and the amount of money that you're going to have to spend to mitigate is enormous. Think about the probable things. Wildfires, hurricanes. We're about to get into hurricane season. Hurricanes are both probable and damaging. We know that every summer that there will be hurricanes that will happen, and we know that they're going to be bad. Those are both very probable and very damaging. So focus your attention on those things that you know are going to happen, are going to be bad. Hey, if you enjoyed this, drop a comment down below and let me know what things are on your risk matrix. What's probable and what's likely for you, and what are you doing to prepare for it?